You can pay now or you can pay later, but sooner or later you're going to pay. You can either stop eating now, right? And that will be very uncomfortable. You can pay the price now and that will not be fun, but you will it's guaranteed you'll get what you desire later, okay? Or you can keep eating now. Eat the food. Eat all the damn food. It's delicious, fabulous. Stuff your face. You can eat it all now, but you will pay later. There is no free ride. There's no free ride. Hey girl, I'm Kylie Pax. After a lifetime of emotional eating, struggling with my weight, and being a serial dieter, I finally found the missing key to weight loss and I lost 20 kilos. Each week, I'll give you my no BS weight loss advice so you can sprinkle it over your life and your dinner plate and lose weight too. Everything I teach you is fluff-free. That means you'll learn simple strategies to master not only your weight, but your mindset as well. Girl, you get that in check and those extra kilos will never haunt your booty again. If you're ready to lose the weight for life, let's go. What is up, my gorgeous, fabulous creatures? You are here with Kylie Pax, your no BS weight loss coach, and we are here for episode number 49. Why am I holding up two fingers? What is that about? Episode 49 of the No BS Weight Loss Podcast. Now, today we're diving in. I've got a ton of questions that have come through. Not the least of which is, how on earth do you stop eating when it tastes so good? I mean, is this not the question of the century? Whether you're a dieter or not, whether you're an ex-dieter, a fad dieter, trying to lose weight, doesn't really matter, whatever you're going through. How on earth do you stop eating when it tastes so good? Now, let me give you just some background around today's podcast. We're trying a few different formats here at the No BS Weight Loss Coach. We're switching things up a little bit, and we're trying this whole new format here. I don't know if I'm really loving the vibe, but we're certainly going to give it a crack. For those of you that don't know, that's an Aussie saying. We're going to give it a crack and see how we go. I've got my notes here, but the setup is a little difficult. So you'll have to bear with me if I'm glancing to the side, because that's where I've got all your questions and your comments. But I think we're definitely going to switch this up in the future. But for now, this is what we're going to go with. So we're going to go with recording this podcast. We're going to live stream it at the same time, and we're going to get it out there, because at the end of the day, what I want for you is to be able to have the answers to the questions that are coming up, that are front and foremost for you when it comes to the struggles that you have with your weight loss, because it's a universal thing. I mean, we're all in the same boat here. So episode 49, how to stop eating when it tastes so good. And I had a ton of you, when I put the question out there, what is one of your biggest struggles with losing weight? This was the biggest thing that came back. It's not like I can say, here's our question from, Lucy in South Carolina. Like, no, everybody had this damn question. So this is the list of questions that we're going through. And if you're anything like me, you've been a part of the Clean Plate Club all your life, you will really understand this, because not only is it like, what do you stop doing? Well, like, how do you stop eating when it tastes so good? But also it's been ingrained in us since we were littlies, that you don't leave the table until your plate is empty. Like, that's just how it is. When I was young, we were not allowed to leave the table until all the food was gone from our plate. Didn't matter if you liked it. Didn't matter whether you hated it. You had to eat all of the food before you're allowed to leave the table. And that's fine. I mean, I think back then it was a generational thing, and it was very different. It was like, be thankful for your food. Your father worked for this food. That's how it was back then. People don't send me all the hate mail. It really was, for the era that I'm from. Anyway, people, please, let's be real. I'm 50 years old. The era that I was raised in, it was like the man generally still went out and, was the main breadwinner. And that's what my dad did. And it's my mother's, the theme was like, well, your father worked for this and blah, blah, blah. Eat the damn food. That's how it was. So if you're like that and you were brought up in a similar manner, you're really going to get this. And I think you'll get a lot out of today's podcast. One of the main things, and there's a quote that I have had in my mind for many years, and it came from one of my mentors, Joyce Meyer. It's something I heard her say 1,000 centuries ago, but it stuck with me the whole way. And she said, you can pay now or you can pay later, but sooner or later you're going to pay. And what I took away from that is there really is no free ride when it comes to this weight loss gig. We're all looking for ways to lose the weight without any discomfort, or I don't want to have to feel hungry at all, or I don't want to have to exercise or work out. We want nothing that isn't going to feel like sunshine and rainbows and, M&M's sprinkling all over our lives. But I just want to tell you, even in the way that I teach weight loss, it's just very different, very fucking different to anybody out there. In fact, it's like nobody else out there, which is why it's I have the success that I do, and why I have the people that do come to me for assistance, and the membership sites that I have is because it's not a calorie. It's not like tick your little fucking boxes and count your calories and enter them in the app and, you know, have a bot for a coach. And no, I don't roll like that. I don't. Because, and let me tell you why, because I've tried it. I'm not telling you this bullshit because it's just a fun thing for me to say to take up some oxygen from planet Earth. I've tried all of the methods. There's nothing out there that I haven't tried. And none of them worked, which is when I eventually, I'm a little bit of a slow learner, people, when I eventually realized there has to be, and I don't even know if there has to be a better way. It sounds very cliche. It's not even that I thought there has to be a better way. I just thought there has to be a damn way. There has to be a way, because all of the diets that I was previously trying, you know, and your WWs and your Jenny fucking Craigs and all those things, like they just weren't helping. They just weren't. Now, let's be clear. What does it mean if a diet works or it doesn't work? Because you're like, I lost weight 20 years ago and I did WW and it worked for me. Did it? Because here's the definition of something working. You did it and it's worked. Not it worked not it worked for a little period of time. It worked as in you lost your weight and you never gained it back again. That's the definition of it worked for me. If it worked, you probably wouldn't even be watching this video. You're not listening to the podcast. Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation because your damn weight would be gone. You'd be happy as a clam, right? Not a thing. That's not a thing. If you're here with me today, it is because I can assure you, it's because whatever you've tried in the past didn't damn well work. You know it didn't work. Even if you dropped weight, if that weight has still found its way back to your booty, it didn't work. It didn't work. And that's why we're still here together. So this is what Joyce Meyer said. She said, you can pay now or you can pay later. But sooner or later, you're going to pay. Which means, as I said, there's no free ride. So you can either, when it comes to how do I stop eating when it tastes so good, you can pay now or you can pay later. But sooner or later, you're going to pay. You can either stop eating now, right? And that will be very uncomfortable. You can pay the price now and that will not be fun. But you will, it's guaranteed you'll get what you desire later, okay? Or you can keep eating now. Eat the food. Eat all the damn food. It's delicious, fabulous. Stuff your face. You can eat it all now, but you will pay later. There is no free ride. There's no free ride. We tell ourselves stories like, I'll just eat it now, it'll be all right, and then I'll start again tomorrow. I'll start again. But you've already paid the price of admission today. You think you got away with something because you ate and you didn't have to say no to the chocolate or say no to the extra pizza or whatever. You can get away with nothing. You've already paid the price of admission to tomorrow. You've paid it today and it's uncomfortable. So what I mean by that is by the time you wake up now tomorrow, you're going to be feeling uncomfortable, bloated, dissatisfied, disappointed with yourself, very disappointed with yourself because you once again didn't hold your word to yourself. And that's what really gets us as women that are trying to lose weight and live a fabulous life and be amazing, like they tell us we should be on social media. We feel disappointed, rejected by the world, even though we're not, but we feel these feelings because we feel like I can't do what they say I should be able to do. And we feel like a massive failure. That's what hurts us so deeply. That's when I say to you, this is why I knew there had to be a way, not a better way, just a way that doesn't torture you, deprive you, make you feel like a pathetic creature because you're working your way through this struggle with your weight. So for those of you who know me, if you know me, you're going to know I talk about the eating codes all the freaking time. If you don't know me, let me introduce you to the eating codes. There are 5 of them. 5. And this is how I lost the weight. This is how I teach all of my clients, the members in the membership site. This is how we lose the weight. And it is how we keep it off alive. We were talking about something that works. This works, people. This works. Not because you do it one time and then it's just, like I say, you skip off into the daisies forevermore. No, it works because it's a constant practice. It's like you saying, I brushed my teeth in 2014. Isn't that good enough? No. They could be plonking out your head by now. You've got to continue the practice of brushing your teeth daily. So the eating codes are exactly the same thing. We use them every day. The same way you would use your times tables or whatever. Please, who's using that? We're just tapping on the phone, working things out now. The same way you would use anything else that you have at one stage learned, you would use it daily. It's ticking away in your subconscious. So too, we use the eating codes in the same way. So I'm going to give you, we will go into those. If you've never heard of these before, I'm going to be talking about them all the time. So I will be talking about them in a lot more depth in the future, but I'm just going to give you the first two today. Actually, I'm going to give you eating code 2 and 3 today, because these are the ones that really pertain to what we're talking about here in this episode when it comes to how do you stop eating when it tastes so damn good. Eating code 2 is eat when you're hungry and don't eat if you're not. And eating code 3 is stopping at satisfied, not stuffed. So these are really important. The reason being that eating code 2 is if you are not hungry, listen, this is not fucking rocket science. If you're not hungry, put the food down. Back the fuck away. Back the truck up. If you're not hungry, there should not be food going into your mouth. But I'm emotional, but I'm upset, but I had a bad day at work, but my partner left me, but my whatever, right? You're not hungry. If you're not hungry, these are the very basics of the eating codes, okay? If you're not hungry, you don't eat food. And the third eating code, the third one is eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed. Now, this eating code is probably my favorite of all the eating codes because this is the magical weight loss eating code. This is where I would say to you, if you haven't taken my free course, then seriously, what the fuck? Get yourself over and take the free course, because this is where I explain all of my 5 eating codes in depth for free for you. So you can start implementing them immediately right now and start losing weight today, like within the hour. That's what I'm saying to you. So there, hop on over to kyliepacks.com/free course and get your booty over there now. That's just all I'm going to say. But the basics of eating code 3 is that you eat until what I call a level 5 on the hunger scale. If 1 is I'm going to gnaw my own arm off, and 10 is I just ate a Christmas meal, I can't, my toes are numb, then 5 is where the hunger has just gone away. You're eating and the hunger has just gone away. You're not full, you're not hungry, you're just in that twilight zone of satisfaction. That's where I want you to be. That's where I want you to be to start losing weight. And that will get you like quite easy and effortless weight loss. If we're actually going to dare throw the word easy into the word, right next to the word weight loss, we feel like there's a whole juxtaposition. They just surely can't go together. But, I'm telling you, like there's always a way. There's always a way to make these things work. So these are the 2 eating codes that really are so important when it comes to stopping eating when it tastes so good. First of all, if it tastes really good, that's fine. But if you're not hungry, then what you can do right now is say, listen, self, I'm not hungry right now. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is put some of this aside. I'm going to plan to have it tomorrow. I'm going to plan to have it later, but I'm sure as fuck not putting it in my mouth right now. And if you are hungry and you do eat the food, whatever it is that's going on, it's fabulous. It's delicious. It's like, your taste buds are all having a freaking mariachi dance or whatever is going on. I don't know. Is that the word? What then needs to happen is at the very least, there you need to implement eating code 3, slide that bitch on in there, and you stop eating at satisfied, not stuffed, There is so much I want to share with you, and we will be sharing it all over the coming episodes because I don't want to give you too much, too fast, too soon, and bamboozle you with too much information. Everything's a 2 today. But really get what I've given you today. Please do get it. And as I say, if you haven't taken the free course, shimmy your cute little butt on over to kyliepacks.com/free course, because that's where you're going to get all the meat here. So here's the first thing I want to say to you. There's several reasons why we don't stop. First of all, when we're eating, there are several reasons why we actually don't stop. Like really obvious and basic ones, like it tastes really good. You think in your head, like, I won't be able to eat again until later, so I might as well just get it all now. You don't want to waste food. Girl, we could talk about this all day long. You don't want to waste the food. And then, of course, we've got the voice in our head. And again, if you've never heard me talk about the voice, you're going to hear about it a whole damn lot coming in the future. The voice is the voice in your head that just whispers like a sultry little bitch, just you should just have a little bit more, just a little bit more. Look, you skipped lunch day or you hardly had anything at lunch day. Oh my God, you've been working so hard lately. You deserve this, girl. It's fabulous. Just eat a little bit more. You can always make up for it tomorrow. That's the voice. And that voice will do you in every time if you dare let that voice take mastery over your mind. So we cannot let that happen. The voice. Now, these are just some of the reasons why we do continue eating when it tastes so good. And when you finally do click in and you say to yourself, okay, fine, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to get my shit together. There are actual stages. There are real legit stages of grief that happen when we stop eating when things are tasting so good. There is actually 3. The first one being we like that full feeling. We like the feeling of fullness in our stomach that often equates to a level of safety. We really like that. Like, I'm full, I'm safe, everything's good, everything's okay. Secondly, our bodies, we get really angry at them sometimes. Like I do. I get really pissed off at my body for getting full so quickly. Like, I want to keep eating. I want to keep eating the damn food. It's really delicious. And then all of a sudden, my body has just hit this place where I know damn well eating code 3 has kicked in and I have had enough. But now I'm just really pissed. Like, I'm really mad now. I'm like, well, you can just go, like, stick that where you want it because I'm hungry and I want to keep eating. And the third stage of grief is waster's remorse. I want you to get this. Waster's remorse is where the voice comes rushing in like on a chariot. Oh, but this costs money, this food. You can't, no, you've got to keep eating. This food costs money. You don't want to be ungrateful. Auntie Suzanne from Alaska bought you this food and she'll think you're just a horrible bitch if you don't eat it. Or the classic one that so many of us got spoon-fed as children from our parents. There are children starving. There are people less fortunate than you and you can't waste this food. So let me give you the fix. First thing I really want to tell you today, most important, I want you to remember, someone else's belly cannot get full by you continuing to eat. Secondly, I want to remind you, when the voice comes in with, but it costs money, I want to tell you, you can either throw that food in the bin now, or you can throw it down your throat and it will end up going straight to your biddy. So you can either let the food go into the trash and become waste, or you can put the food in your body and your body will convert it to trash and waste and store it on your ass as fat. Like, is that something to be proud of? Now you can go walk around and somebody can go, oh, honey, have you gained some weight? You'd be like, oh, I have, but listen, but darling, at least I'm not wasting money. At least there are children starving, so at least I'm eating all my food. If you could see my face right now, it's a face of shock, awe, and confusion. Like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. It makes no sense. And yet we tell ourselves these ridiculous stories. So either way, whether you eat it or you throw it in the bin, if you're not hungry, if your body is not physically hungry, either way, it's going to be waste. The food is going to be waste. The third thing, the third fix is to remember when it comes to being ungrateful, if you are eating against your better judgment, then the only person that's being resentful here is going to be you. Right? It will never work. Make yourself less to start with, serve yourself less to start with, or politely just decline the food and just say, listen, I want to remind you, you're not responsible for somebody else's feelings. If you're saying to yourself, oh, but they'll be offended, they'll be upset with me. You are not responsible for somebody else's feelings. That's not a thing. That's literally not a thing. You can try and make it a thing and your ass will thank you as it keeps taking the food on board and storing it for you. So I want to remind you again, three components to stopping. First of all, you just stop. You just stop. This is not hard. It's not rocket science. You just stop. Secondly, you listen for the BS thoughts that the voice is going to start bringing up in your mind. All the thoughts that come up. And when those thoughts do come up, because they will, I want you to run them through the think, feel, act cycle. What that means is that after so many years of dieting, our brains have just stored responses. When it comes to you stopping eating, it's going to think this is some kind of deprivation. She's restricting me, and what the fuck she thinks she's doing. You're not doing any of that. You're choosing of your own free will and from a powerful, empowered state as a female who's in charge of her damn motory functions to say, no, I am not eating any more food. I'm not putting food in my mouth. At that point, the voice is going to kick up. You can't stop those thoughts from being there. Of course you can't. You can't control the thoughts that you think, but you can decide whether or not you're going to take them on board, lap them up like a delicious soup and just run with it, or whether you're going to run them through the think, feel, act cycle. First of all, what is it that I'm thinking? You can catch that thought. Second of all, what is it making me feel inside? How is that thought? What are the feelings that thought is generating? Because based on whatever thoughts it's generating, the feelings, then you're going to act accordingly. If you feel like this food might run out, I better eat it all now, you're going to act in a manner that causes you to continue stuffing food in your face. If you catch that thought in your head and think, this is BS, this is absolutely untrue. I can have more food. I can have food anytime I want. In fact, I can take some of this food and store it for tomorrow or later today, and I can have it when I can truly enjoy it. Then you are going to generate the act cycle. Then the act line, if that's your thought, feeling is that like it feels like, oh my God, I'm panicking, and you can assess that and go, that's BS. Then the action cycle, that line completely changes. And now you're going to act in a manner that is empowering, that is respectful, that is making you feel really, really damn good. That's what this is about. So I want you to remember, first of all, the voice is going to kick in at any opportunity that it gets. The voice will kick in and it will always repeat your most familiar pattern. Next of all of this is normal. You're not, oh my God, you're not broken, honey. It breaks my heart to think that so many of us think that we are broken and that there's something wrong with us. No, you're not broken. This is a normal neurological response. Your role is not to try and fight with the response, freak out about the response. Your role is to notice it, catch it, challenge it, and change that damn thought. Change the thought. You change the thought by asking yourself, is this true? Can I be absolutely certain that this is true? Because if it's not true, I now have a window of opportunity to change it. And until you do choose a different action and create a different outcome, your brain will never be forced to change. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. I have loved spending this time with you. I am trying so hard to keep these little nuggets under 15 minutes. We've just gone a little bit over. But once again, please, if you haven't taken my free course, I'm going to tell you one last time, skip on over to kyliepax.com/free course. Sign up immediately. Throw your name in the little box and get the 4 videos. They'll come to you 4 videos, and you can start implementing these eating codes in like minute detail. You can either implement them as hard as you like or as soft as you like over the coming days, and you will start losing weight immediately. This is my promise to you. If not, I want you to email me immediately and I will help you. I will. I'm sending you tremendous amounts of love. As always, remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to someone else. And if you found this today even mildly helpful or slightly amusing, please go ahead and share with your bestie, because as we step up and empower ourselves to take control of our weight and the way we are responding to ourselves within our own body, you give permission to someone else to do the same. I'm sending you so much love. I will catch you again next week. Until then, my beautifuls, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to kyliepax.com/free course and sign up for my free weight loss training so you can start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources in my past podcasts that will help you lose your weight without the BS diet drama. I'll see you next week.